Picture this. A young woman, madly in love, marries her boss and dreams of a perfect life together. That was me, Emily, starry-eyed and hopeful. I was head over heels for Adam, my charismatic boss. His confidence and charm swept me off my feet, and when he proposed, it felt like a fairy tale. I willingly left my job, my independence, to build a home with Adam. The joy of being his wife, of starting a family together, it was a dream come true. But like all dreams, reality eventually sets in. And my reality was far from the fairy tale I envisioned. Adam changed. The man who once showered me with affection turned cold. His once enchanting charisma morphed into a cruel demeanor. His smiles became scarce, his laughter a distant memory. I felt like a stranger living with a man who wore my husband's face. I tried to understand, to reach out to him, but every conversation was met with indifference. Every attempt at reigniting our love was met with apathy. I was alone, trapped in a loveless marriage with a man who seemed to have forgotten the vows we made. With each passing day, his distance grew. His indifference turned into disdain. He was no longer the man I married. He was no longer my Adam. He was a stranger, a cruel, distant stranger, hiding behind my husband's face. I clung to the hope that things would change, that Adam would return to the man he was. But hope is a dangerous thing, especially when it blinds you to the harsh truths. I was living a nightmare disguised as a fairy tale. And then the unthinkable happened. I discovered the harsh truth, the cruel deception that would shatter my world. My husband, my Adam, was not the man I thought he was. Little did I know, the man I loved was about to shatter my world. Then came the news that should have brought us closer. I was pregnant. In a whirl of emotions, I was eager to share this wonderful surprise with Adam. I envisioned joy, a shared excitement at the prospect of nurturing a life together. But reality had a different script. His reaction was a mirror reflecting his true colors, an unsettling mixture of indifference and resentment. Suddenly, the man I loved, the man I had committed my life to, was a stranger, treating our unborn child as an unwanted burden instead of a joyful blessing. His selfishness was laid bare. His unsupportive nature became a painful reality. I was expecting tenderness, a loving embrace, a shared dream of our future as parents. Instead, I was met with coldness, a stark reminder of the growing chasm between us. His reaction was a punch in the gut. But the worst was yet to come. One day, I found a receipt that changed everything. A simple slip of paper, a hotel receipt, tucked away in the pocket of his coat. It wasn't ours. It wasn't a place we'd been together. It was a nameless hotel in a part of town we never frequented. The seed of doubt took root. I couldn't ignore it, couldn't brush it off as a misunderstanding. Something about the date, the time, the location, it all pointed towards an unsettling reality. Adam, my husband, my boss, the father of my unborn child, was having an affair. I felt a surge of emotions, betrayal, anger, sadness, but above all, a burning determination. I decided then and there that I needed more than just a hotel receipt to confront him. I needed evidence. I turned into a detective of my own life. I started to pick up on things I'd previously ignored. Late nights at the office, the sudden influx of business trips, the distant look in his eyes. Every piece of information became a clue, every conversation a potential confession. It wasn't easy. There were days when I wanted to just break down, to confront him, to cry and scream. But I held on. I held on because I needed to know the truth. The whole truth, no matter how much it hurt. And then one day, I had it. A collection of subtle signs, text messages, and whispers that confirmed my worst fears. Adam was cheating on me. The man I'd given up my career for, the man I was carrying a child for, had betrayed me. The pain was unbearable. It felt like a physical blow, leaving me winded and broken. But amidst the heartbreak, I found something else. A spark of resolve. A determination to not let him get away with it. I was heartbroken, but I was not going to let him get away with it. After our divorce, Adam's true colors started to show even more. As the dust settled, it became clear that his actions had consequences. The man who once held himself high above the world was now facing a hard fall. His arrogant attitude and reckless behavior had led him down a path of financial struggles. In his pursuit of fleeting pleasures, he'd forgotten the basics of business, and now he was paying the price. The man who once controlled a business empire was now scrambling to keep it from crumbling. His once lavish lifestyle was reduced to a shell of its former glory. The golden boy of Wall Street was now just another cautionary tale of greed and deceit. The tables had turned, and Adam was learning the hard way that in the end, you reap what you sow. Karma had started to knock on Adam's door. Just when things seemed bleak, life threw me a lifeline. A twist of fate, a turn of events, an unexpected inheritance landed on my doorstep. The surprise was overwhelming. It was like a breath of fresh air in a room filled with smoke. The inheritance wasn't just about the money. It was a ticket to my freedom, a chance to reclaim my independence. You see, for years I had been living under Adam's shadow, my worth tied to his whims. But this was mine, a wealth that was not tied to a husband or a marriage, but to me. It was a tangible reminder that I was more than just Adam's wife, more than a betrayed woman. I was Emily, an individual with her own capabilities, her own worth. With this newfound wealth, I felt a sense of power surge within me, a power that wasn't domineering or oppressive, but liberating. It was the power of choice, the power of autonomy. I could finally make decisions for myself without fear of financial repercussions. I could stand on my own 2 feet without needing to lean on Adam or anyone else. But it wasn't just about the money, it was about the confidence it instilled in me. The confidence to face the world, to face my own vulnerabilities, to face Adam. I was no longer the timid woman who had to endure his infidelities, his lies. I was a woman of substance, a woman of strength. I was a woman who could fight back, and fight back I did. Not with vengeance, but with resilience. With every decision I made, every step I took, I was rebuilding my life. Brick by brick, piece by piece. I was creating a new narrative for myself, a narrative that was not dictated by Adam or his actions, but by me and my dreams. The inheritance was a catalyst, a spark that ignited a fire within me, a fire that burned brightly, illuminating my path towards a future I could call my own, a future where I was not just surviving, but thriving. I was ready to rebuild my life on my own terms. As I prepared to take over my father's company, I was filled with a renewed sense of purpose. It was as though I was stepping into a new era of my life, one that promised opportunities I had never before imagined. The company my father had built was not just a business to me. It was a legacy, a symbol of perseverance and hard work that I was now privileged to carry forward. With every meeting I attended, every decision I made, I could feel my confidence growing. I was no longer the naive young woman who had fallen for the charming boss. I was Emily, the entrepreneur, the decision maker, the leader. I was stepping out from the shadow of my past, ready to carve out a future for myself. But my ambitions were not limited to the boardroom. I was also stepping into a new role, one that I had longed for and feared in equal measure: motherhood. I was about to bring a new life into this world, a life that I would nurture and protect with all the strength I had discovered within me. My family stood by me, their support unwavering. They were my rock, a constant reminder of the love and warmth that had been missing from my life for so long. They celebrated my successes and comforted me during my failures, always there to lend a helping hand or a listening ear. As I looked at the path that lay before me, I realized that it was not just about reclaiming my independence or building a business empire. It was about healing from the wounds of my past and creating a better future for myself and my child. It was about learning to trust again, to love again, and to believe in the possibility of happiness. The journey had not been easy, and I knew there were challenges yet to come, but I had faced betrayal, endured heartbreak, and come out stronger on the other side. I had learned that I was capable of more than I had ever imagined, that I had the power to shape my own destiny. I had turned my pain into strength and was ready to face the future.